Good evening, this is Atmospheric Alex here, and welcome back to another U.S. weather forecast outlook and discussion. However, today we're going to be talking about the West Coast quite a lot, as a very significant atmospheric river event is anticipated to be impacting Washington, Oregon, and even portions of California as well over the next couple of weeks. It'll be on and off, and we could see some very significant flooding and snowfall out of that. But as we take a grand overview at the entire country here, we're talking about quite a bit of snow activity up here in the Northeast still going on. You can see an extremely heavy band of lake effect snow right here, right over Watertown, New York. Look at that. So you know what I'm going to be doing when this video is done? I will be checking that live camera to see just how crazy it gets right there. And then we do have a very minor clipper system moving through portions of eastern Pennsylvania here. Not much snow is expected out of this, maybe a very light dusting at the very most, but you already have seen snow over the past few days, so this is really nothing to worry about. But what is something to potentially be a little more concerned about is this big atmospheric river event. You could see a ton of rainfall falling across the Pacific Northwest right within here, even a little bit over here too. But your mountains are playing a bit of a role here with your precipitation so far. And we're talking about a lot of rain, not a lot of snow, because all of this moisture is actually coming out of the southwest like this. And we're going to call that the Pineapple Express later on in this video. Now, as we take a look at our excessive rainfall outlook from our Weather Prediction Center, we do only have a slight risk across these areas. However, I think it is very important to keep in mind that all the rain we're going to be seeing over the next 2 weeks will be falling gradually, not all at once, but still a lot of it is going to build up in the mountains, and that's where our flooding is going to occur. We've already seen some significant flooding across Washington state, and we're definitely going to be seeing more very, very soon. So we're going to take a look at an interesting weather product here from our European model. This is going to be our precipitable water here, and this is going to show you why on earth this big atmospheric river is being named the Pineapple Express, right? Because I know it may be confusing a lot of you all, like, oh, is it bringing pineapples to the PNW? No, not quite that. It's actually because it is coming from the Pineapple State. It's coming from Hawaii down here. If you could see that down there. We're talking about a ton of moisture actually coming up like this and shooting off to the north and east. So all of this, crazy rainfall is actually coming from Hawaii, and the source region is even further off to the southwest. That's kind of remarkable, isn't it? Now we're just going to go ahead and play through our precipitation chart on our European model here just to see every single storm system that may be moving through your area in the Pacific Northwest and all other areas of the western US as well. And you could see round after round after round of rain and snow and everything in between occurring in a ton of different areas here. Definitely going to be quite a significant next couple of weeks in terms of rain. And if we take a look at this, this is your total precipitation amounts potentially for the next 2 weeks on your European ensemble here. The thing that sticks out like a sore thumb is this little pocket right here. 15 to 20 inches of rain along your northwest California coastline and southwest Oregon coastline here, just off to the west of Medford. That is where we're expecting a ton of precipitation in the form of rain. A little bit of it could be snow, but it's going to be really warm, so most of it will be rain. And then up here you could see, anywhere in kind of like your purple shades here is over a foot of precipitation. That is quite significant. And again, to give you a better idea here, anything in your cyan colors is actually above 6 inches. So you can see even dipping into the Central Valley of California there, we are expecting a ton of rainfall, ton of flooding issues. And we can't also forget about all you down here as well in Southern California could see between 2 to 3 inches in some of your mountain locations. Now, how about your snowfall? Because eventually we're going to see a ton of cold air move through, and I don't really like this color table too much. Having green as your highest snowfall totals is weird, but synoptic weather, I mean, it's such a great site to use and is really appealing to the eye, I'd say. So that's kind of why I'm using it, but I wish the color table was a bit different. Or you can customize color tables. Maybe that'll come in the future, we'll see. but anything in your green colors here is over 2 feet of snowfall. We're we're going to be expecting a lot more than just 2 feet in your mountains, probably 3, maybe even 4 feet of snow in total over the next few days, and then what are we talking, 8 to 10 feet over the next 2 weeks? There's going to be a lot of snow. That's all we really need to know, right? You can see down here in the Sierra Nevada area as well, a ton of snow. And then going on off to the east, so we're going to be talking about you guys here a little later in the video. We're going to have a ton of problems across Montana going on through into Wednesday, it looks like. And I keep saying later in the video, I guess I mean the next slide, because that's where we are right now. Here's your wind gust forecast here, or I guess I should say your model prediction here from your European, and you could see very strong to damaging winds occurring across portions of western Montana. We're seeing a ton of downsloping winds, a lot of mountain wave activity. In Glacier National Park, you could see gusts upwards of 90 to 100 miles an hour. So that's going to be fun. Not really, especially if you don't like the wind and you might be scared of it. You can see our next system plowing on through here, as we get into Wednesday. This is going to be a big issue. Very strong winds across a extremely large area. Take a look at this. Anywhere in your orange colors and up is upwards of 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but anything in your red colors and up is 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Definitely going to be quite significant. And this is a low-resolution model, so winds are likely being underdone. Into Wednesday afternoon, gusts upwards of 70 to 80 miles an hour is going to be possible in northern and western Montana. You need to be very cautious if you need to go out and about in those conditions. And then this will continue through, and this wind really just blasts on through. Then it gets into, portions of the northern plains. We're going to move the map because it's interactive here and zoom on in. You could see for Bismarck, North Dakota, Rapid City, South Dakota, Pierre, South Dakota, gusts between 60 to 70 miles an hour is going to be the likelihood here. And this continues advancing down off to the southeast through portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, and even Iowa. It's going to be a windy one out there, my goodness. And for you folks, back up in Montana, expect a wild, windy Wednesday, right? I just kind of came up with that one on the fly. So how about for the rest of the U.S.? Because I never usually cover the West Coast, so we need to talk about everyone else in between, right? We're talking about a pretty big warm-up that is going to be impacting a lot of people going on through mainly into next week here. We're talking about this from the Climate Prediction Center. Very likely chances for above average temperatures, especially right within here. Take a look at that. Kind of crazy to think about it, right? We just went from really cold and now we're going to really warm all of a sudden. Except for you all up in these areas here, you're going to be remaining below average, it looks like, and that is either good or bad depending on what you really want. And we're just going to play through the European model once more, and I kind of like doing this just so you all get a good idea of everything going on. You could see we do have a bit of a warm-up on the way, as we head into Wednesday, but especially Thursday here. I also love synoptic weather because it gives you plot points here. You can actually see, like down here, you can see 70-degree weather, 60-degree weather, 50-degree weather. It labels everything, and I really like that. It's very good for broadcasting reasons. You could see a massive, massive cold front, though, up here in your northern U.S., back down to negative 20 degrees in Minnesota. Geez, why would anybody live there, right? It's absolutely horrible. And then you could see you're going to have a few more cold fronts coming through again. Geez, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? But the southeast U.S., deep southeast U.S., in between 70 to almost 80 degrees. And I'd like to point you all out down here in South Florida. 85 degrees. Holy cow, that's like summer out by me. Man, that must feel nice, especially along the beach, let me tell you. I kind of wish I was down there, but you could see, the cold weather does continue for the north and the warm for the south. But then eventually we do break through, and around Christmas we could see a pretty dramatic warm up here, and maybe even some severe weather. We're gonna have to watch all these systems, because with all your warm, unstable air comes the threat for severe weather. And we're just gonna play this precipitation map through here, and you're gonna quickly notice, we do have more cold air coming in from the north, but with the warm air clashing from the south, you do in fact have a chance for thunderstorms here. You can see this line setting up where we could maybe see strong to severe storms, maybe in this area here. we could see something, and maybe off to the south as well. But where you have your highest amounts of storm energy and your highest amounts of wind shear, could we possibly see some severe weather? Definitely not out of the question. And that's going to move like that. And then again, you just have your ups and downs and your ups and downs, right? I mean, it's kind of classic look here. But look at as we go into Christmas. Geez, I mean, it is really going to be warm out there, isn't it? We definitely could still see some wintry precipitation for portions of the Northeast. I'd stay tuned with that. And then portions of the northern U.S. out here. We're going to have to watch for that. If we're in terms of white Christmas chances, I'm not going to go over that yet, and we're going to wait a bit as more model data rolls in and as we get closer to that time frame, because things can and will change. But wow, this would be quite special out here for New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. White Christmas? Well, we gotta hope so, but again, nothing you see right here is a forecast, it's just a model prediction. And with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully my microphone is no longer peaking. I tried to move it further away because it was really bothering me when I was editing the video yesterday. Kind of sounded a bit rough, but I think maybe I fixed the issue a bit. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my little corner of the weather community, and share this video with friends and family on social media and get the word out, because this is looking quite significant up here in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not going to lie about that. Also, feel free to leave a comment in the section below if you have any future suggestions for me to do. And if you like all these new interactive maps I've been pulling up lately, I find them just a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable. So that's kind of why I've been doing it too. And a lot more appealing to the eye, especially synoptic weather. You all have a wonderful night and stay very weather aware out there for your massive Pineapple Express that will be arriving soon and your wild windy Wednesday for areas in between.